Welcome to the Rose Show podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm here with Nargis Motorwala. She is an awesome options trader, chartist, technical analyst, and she has creative ways of generating alpha. She's made some great predictions on where SPY and QQQ are, and they are right in that range. So we are so excited to learn more about her special trading strategies. So Nargis, how are you doing today?
Hi, good, Rosanna. How are you? And thanks for having me on your show. I know we have been talking about it for some time, but finally, great to be here.
Absolutely. And we're so grateful to have you here. You are truly an asset to the Twitter community. Love your charts, love your technical analysis. So I want to know more. I think we all want to know more. So let's begin with your background first. How long have
Okay.
you been trading? And I know you've been doing technical analysis even longer than you're trading. So tell us how it all started for you.
So, as I've said a few times, I live in Silicon Valley. So, the Bay Area. So, as usual, like any other person here, I'm also a, software engineer.
Wow.
So I was working in the corporate world. My last job was in eBay as a product manager, business development manager. Um, so it was life as usual, and then on the side tidbits here, a lot of people do stocks. So when I was like much before, I used to see these people talk. I used to wonder, like, how do they buy, how do they sell, what is it? There has to be more than just saying Apple is a good company or they have good cash or something. So if I want to buy, how do I know 100 is a good price or 75 was a good price or 125 would be a good price? So my mind was always curious about that. And luckily, I found a couple of colleagues who were into technical analysis, and they introduced me to, your SMAs and 200 SMA and some exponential SMAs, RSI, MACD, and all those stuff. And I started using it. Um, and I used to have a long-term relationship with SPY and 10 SMA. Every day I used to record just before the market close where SPY is trading with respect to 10 SMA. So I would note down the date, then the at 10 SMA, what number it is at, and SPY price where it is at. For a lot of years, I've done this, and as
So
I kept
10-day,
doing
the 10-day simple
10-day
moving
SMA,
average. Perfect. Got
so
it.
yeah, simple moving average.
Perfect.
So, after some time, it gave me some pattern that, this is how SPY behaves.
Mm.
So the best thing, it's the best thing that could happen to me. I learned the behavior of how SPY behaves, you know. So before 2018, it was still very simple, right? Things would honor the 10-day SMA, 200-day SMA, and they had a meaning. I mean, unlike today. So trading was a little bit easier in those times because things wouldn't deviate too much from the main stuff like these 10 SMA. Okay, uh, the 10 SMA and the SPY price is more than 5 or it's getting up till 7 difference, then we know a pullback is coming. Be cautious about it. So these things were easy. And in 2018, RSI was still a very good indicator. I still use it, but it is not that. I mean, all the indicators, old indicators, are not that as effective as they used to be. Maybe they need reprogramming or something. But I noticed that the monthly RSI was at around 85 plus, and it was a very strong bull market in 2018, January or so. And everybody was buy, and I was waiting for it to, give a sign to pull back a lot. Um, I think that is the time I had posted on Twitter. Uh, I was a nobody on Twitter at that time. I didn't even had 100 followers or something, but I posted this. That post is still there, and said that wait for it. This is going to pull back. I don't know how this can go any more higher, and it is at a certain price, the RSI is this much. So, and then, within a month or so, it started crapping. And that was one of the bigger craps in 2018. So that's how somebody noticed me, that the whole Twitter was bullish at that time. And nobody coming out of nowhere having, I don't know, a lot of guts or a lot of ignorance, you can call it, posting that, expect a pullback. So that's where Dale Pinkert had noticed me and he called me for an interview. So he was the first guy to, see some potential in me, I guess. So since then, so one of the things which I am personally good at is observation. Teeny tiny bit of observation that goes a very long way, you know. So since then, the one of the things which I started noticing is that these older um, technical indicators are losing their, this thing, and something else is taking over, and that something else was the algo. Right, as the algo trading started more and more, all these traditional ways of doing things couldn't keep up to that pace, right? So because with algo trading, there are no emotions, right? Before that, you and I are trading each other, and we know you are also looking at 10 SMA. I am also looking at 10 SMA, and we know it is extended, and automatically, the mind and the price would start respecting that. But with algo, there is sorry, there is no emotions. It's only mathematics. So it doesn't have to honor anything else. It will only honor its price cycle target. So one of the things later on which I got introduced to it to was the GANN, WD GANN, and that fascinated me a lot. Somehow I just took it very natural to it because somehow it just matched with my pattern thinking. And I felt so at ease that, okay, I think it was that missing block in my head. So finally I found it, and you will not believe, at least I suspected, that all the algos are programmed to GAN studies, most likely. And that's how you see certain things happening when price is reaching a certain cycle target, or it's about to go around there. All your news will come around, all your Powell and interest rate and macro shakro, everything will circle around it. So that's why when price was coming down below 37.52, and I was, in my heart, I was a little bit more confident that this is going to hit 34.81 or 25% of between two levels. It will hit as close to 34.81 as possible. So it hit 34.91. And at that time, I was like, okay, you know what? It hit the second two cycles coming up from 4,800. It cannot go any more down below until it moves back up. That's what my original idea was. Forget about bull market or bear market or anything. It's, price cannot do some stuff without doing something extra, right? You can't keep falling down until you go back up, gain your energy, and then figure out stuff. And ES is not an easy beast. It likes to do things in a certain way. If you can just put some time aside to understand the nature of ES, it's such a beautiful thing. It'll tell you what it is going to do. If you only had the patience to listen to it, it'll tell you even before Powell. It'll tell you anything, it's the best indicator you have out there.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I have become so lazy. I don't even listen to what Powell is showing. Did he raise interest? Did he not raise interest?
I love
CPI,
that.
what it's come or what has not come, because ES will already most likely tell you the direction it wants to take. And a lot of my followers like that about me, especially in the Discord room when we trade. Uh, it is coming out of that. So I just give out my numbers. In my head, I don't even look at the chart just now. And the most important thing is somehow I remember what price has done at a certain time. So like
Love that.
somebody asked me the other day, it's now coming to 4,300, what to look for. And I'm like, I'm in bed. I have not even gone to my computer because my husband is there. And if he sees me getting out of bed and working on it, he'll get mad, because I've just came back from the hospital. So, but I just asked where ES is. So they said it is at 42.93. So I said, okay, 42.93, 43.07, between this, it has to resolve. Otherwise, it'll come down, and things will happen. So these numbers are coming back from 2022 when it first fell, where it stopped. All those stops you need to keep in your head to know when it's going up, what it's going to do.
Well, no doubt you are brilliant. And, that's why we admire you so much. We've spoken about your math. You had a special math award that you received back in India. You've always, right? And, you're an engineer and you bring so much brilliance to trading and you have it all in your head. And what we want is to go into Nargis's head and we want to try to understand all these different patterns that you see, that you noticed years ago. I love that you mentioned it. You threw out a lot of information at us. I have to say the GANN is amazing. The GANN analysis with the G1, G2, G3, G4, it's pattern, price, and time. I love that. And I mean, I like anchored VWAP myself. I'm a VWAPper. So I like price, volume, time. So that very, very much resonates with me. I think it's fascinating that you use that. I think I see you use Fibonacci levels. Is that correct?
Yes,
okay, so you use that. These are all very complicated mathematical formulas in these charts that really, I have to say, they really pinpoint movements. And like you said, algos, it's changed. The times have changed. Algos take the emotion out of trading and they use these key levels. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If they're using these levels, and even though the CPI is all over the place, the macro is bearish, if the algos are using these levels, the trading's going to go per these levels as well, because it's the algos doing the trading. Excellent points that you made. And you're an observer. And that's key with pattern recognition. You're observing these patterns, and obviously, no doubt, you're an expert on this. You're using expertise-based intuitive decision-making with these patterns, with these levels. And yes, I see you throwing out these numbers, and when you're on spaces, you're always saying these numbers, and it's like, wow, you have all these numbers in your head. So
yes, it's in my head. It's printed in my head. If you ask me in my sleep, I'll tell you where ES is and where it can go and do. So
well, I want to know. We want to know. It all starts with curiosity, like it did with you. You were curious, so I'm curious. I want to know. Right now, I was going to go through your trading style, but I like to know right now in the market. It's now, I think, the first week of June, and we're right at the end of the first half of the year of 2023. How are you looking at these markets right now? We have the macro is very bearish. They're talking about another rate hike with the Fed. You're ignoring that noise. You're saying that's noise right now. Let me focus on the charts. Let me focus on the GANN, the Fibonacci. What are you seeing in the indexes right now?
So in the indexes, I had posted it, I think 2 days ago or yesterday, coming down from 43.91 or 34.81. I reversed the numbers, 34.81 low. It didn't hit 81, it hit 91, but that's the number it should have ideally hit. So coming down from there, it has already completed 2 cycles at 4225. Okay, so that's a major run
This
up.
is for SPX.
Yeah, for ES and XPX both, actually.
Yes.
So 4,225 would be the number I would watch, where it is trading with respect to certain noise going away.
I mean, interrupt. How far back do your cycles go? I've seen you go back, to last year. How far back do these cycles go for you?
Oh, they go a long way. Like, for example, XPX has a target at 7,600 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if somebody has been carefully reading my threads, one of the
Yes.
things I had mentioned is Apple has not hit 183.01 cent,
Mm.
right? I was obsessed with that number since last year. Amazon hit its cycle and it, what do you call, reset it to a higher one.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of FANGs did it, a lot of the major stocks did it, which would, kind of contribute to the market. ES had done it, NQ had done it. Most of the indexes all have done it except Apple.
Mm.
So I was at that time itself, I was wondering why Apple has not hit 180. It came 182.94, right? Only 7 cents. It went back from 7 cents, and I was like, why is it doing that? That mystery I was not able to solve, and it did it at 1.5 years exactly. When I posted it yesterday, that January 4th it hit 182.94,
Mm-hmm.
and June 5th this year, exactly like 540 degrees, it hit 183.1 cents. So what's the relationship between the date and the
Mm.
1.5 years? So that mystery I want to crack, but not now.
So what is that
Once I do.
telling you when you see that pattern for Apple? What are
Yeah.
you thinking could happen next? Is it pretty, what kind of
So Apple
option?
has reset its price target to 361. It'll hit 361 sometime in the
Wow.
future.
Okay.
Yeah. So wherever it goes, it'll come back and hit that. So now everybody is aligned to a higher cycle. So your bull market, see, if you see this way, the stock market is not going anywhere. We may go away, but the stock market is not going.
Mm-hmm.
So there is always a higher price. So
Yeah.
right now they have all fired higher. The only question is, will the bull market continue? Are we getting into a new bull market,
Mm-hmm.
or it craps down one big time, hits the lower numbers, and then traverses up back from there? There's a very
Mm.
beautiful thing in the chart which I can show you,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the thing which again I observed and I said, why is this placed here instead of anywhere else? So that was my clue. And it's a very beautiful thing. um, Placement of the price, time, the date,
Mm-hmm.
what it has done around certain time for the same price, and your Fibonacci or your blah 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 and your cycle, they
Mm.
all will come together at a major inflection.
Inflection,
And
yes.
yes, and that is when it happened in was it October or November, when we hit the low 34.91? That time it has come. So, and I was like, and that gave me the confidence, this is it. Right now,
Wow.
it will not go below this. It will go up. Forget about your macro shacro. And
Mm-hmm.
my people used to ask me, Nargis, what will Powell do? I said, they will all change their story, and then, they'll support the price. So don't worry about that. Buy Meta at 87, and, Amazon at 81, Google at 85, Netflix around 200 something, Nvidia 157, AMD, everything, and forget about it. Just be cautious about your stop loss and your capital preservation. From here, it's only your capital preservation, and let it run. So,
What do you think
people,
we're at right now? Looking at these cycles and looking at SPX, I know you watch SPX very closely and ES
yes,
as well.
yes.
Do you think that, I don't know if you look at oscillators as well, but do you think that we could possibly be headed higher from here to new levels? Or do you think this is still maybe the upper end of this range? People have been talking about we're in a sideways market for the first half of the year. Do you think that we're going to go back down by looking at the charts the way you look at them? Or do you think we could have a case for higher?
So currently the case is for higher,
Wow.
uh, provided that 42.25 is
Holds.
either holding or
Mm-hmm.
it is regained back.
Ah,
It can always go down and adjust itself, because remember, your VIX is also coming below 14 now.
yes.
And that is where I was expecting it to go, around 12. So this I
I
had
saw those
predicted when,
tweets.
yeah. So, see, this is how it happens. So your VIX is also coming down there. So there will be pressure going two prices in the market, definitely, because your VIX is also telling a story. The only thing is ES has come to 4,200 3 times, I think, if I'm not wrong. Okay. And this is the 4th time it is coming around there. So there has to be a reason for it 4th time. And that 43.27 is a virgin number it has not touched. Right? And that is the breakout point after that. And it's a virgin supply as well above.
Yes. It's all about supply and
it
demand.
Is the nature and it is the nature of ES to not leave things halfway through.
Wow. You know this, you've studied it. This is awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So significant there.
Yes. So it will do some drama because it is half year going. We have cord witching next week, and price adjustment will happen between the contracts. So, one of the things which I have also mentioned, I don't know if people pay attention or not, but since last year, a significant change I have been noticing between XPX and ES. When the contracts are changing, now the difference between the two is 30 to 35 points, which I have at least not seen before. It used to be 12, 15, and within a month or so, it would start coming down. But now it is 35 points. And that causes the volatility or the price to behave weirdly, because all the time it's doing is to adjust itself versus caring about what Powell is saying or what is going to happen, or whether should the price move or not, or whether the options premium expiring or not, because it's under the pressure to, because XPX, it's cash index, right? And they are 35 points away. So its first priority is to, adjust itself. So that's one of the points which most people miss. And if you see, nothing has happened between those past 3 months other than adjusting the price, the distance between the two. And now we are at what, 6 points away. Just in less than 2 weeks, it shed away 20 points. It reduced the distance, and now it is 6 points. By next week, it will be 2 to 3 points, and the contract will switch over. And you again see, if the distance is again very great, expect the similar price action, where it will be more about adjusting itself than giving a good move for the benefit of us.
Wow. So when you do your trading, and I want to get into that, your options trading, do you trade on SPX, or do you also trade with futures and ES?
I do everything: futures, XPX, SPY, all three. And other futures also, oil, what do you call, gold we trade a lot. Oil we've traded a lot. Now the volatility has decreased, the movement is not that great, but before it was very good.
Yes, it's always about taking a lower risk trade.
Yeah.
And if there's a lot of volatility, it may be a higher risk. So there's always opportunities in the market. So tell us about your trading style. Are you day trader, mostly swing trader, options, shares? What's your style? What's Nargis's style?
My hands are in everything. So, yeah, so it's not like so I'll sit there to have some side income for a day trade, and I'll have my swings on as well. And as I am also running a small show, I also tell them what to do. So for example, it's a small trading, I'll give them scalps, I'll also give them swings, and then a good investment opportunity comes in, like for example, I said buy at 34.81. Now that is a good investment. Now suppose the price doesn't go down, then you have already made good money on your Apples and Amazons and Googles and everything else. So now it would be like protecting your profits and doing something with it, right? So right now, long term may not look a long term like 5 to 10 years, but at least you've made 40%, 50%. Facebook has given, I don't know what, 200, 300% from 88 to 250. So, so those kinds. So if, like, for example, Meta has given a lot of profit, then first thing would be to protect that.
And how would you protect your profit? Like, what is
generally
your style?
So generally I ladder it. I ladder it, like, if I have a considerable amount, then I'd go 1/3, take 1/3 off at a certain level. Then the next 1/3, I would adjust it to something by selling some premium or something, adjusting it. So, if it is sideways or it's coming down, I'll take some premium off. And the last 1/3, I would, leave it as free runners to see what I can get more out of it. And of course, with a mental stop loss, okay, I won't let it go below this, and then you get out
Yes.
of it.
Got it.
Like that.
Yeah, I like to scale in. I usually scale out of positions and take profits along the way. So when you're trading, let's say Meta, for example, did you recently play Meta?
Yes, actually, not. I personally did not play it very, very recently, but I played it 2, 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so let's say,
Yeah.
give us the example of how you played Meta. Do you use options? Do you use long? Let's say you played it on the upside. So did you do
Yeah,
long calls? Did you do a
long calls.
vertical? Did you do a diagonal? Like what type of, do you use spreads quite often? I've heard you
Yes,
say
I
it a
do.
lot.
I do.
Yeah.
For example, Lulu, I did a butterfly.
Mm,
So 360, 400,
mm,
360, 410, 50 wide basically. So
okay.
460, right? So the other day it came out to 485 or something, 385 or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it went to $25, and I had bought it at,
Nice.
with the protection, I had bought it at $10.
Very
So that was
nice.
a good. So sometimes, because these Lulus and all are very costly, um, so I wanted to buy a closer strike on the long side, at the same time giving some protection to exit at, if not break even, but at least at 80% break even, capital. So that was the thing. So
To use a butterfly on that one, that call
yeah,
butterfly.
I used a butterfly, and then GitLab GTLB, yes, day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, GitLab. That one has been doing very well lately.
Yes. So somebody asked me, that's GitLab earning. I was like, lying down, and so I said, okay, fine, let me look at it, because curiosity, right? Uh, you're sick, whatever, you have to go look at it. So I went and looked at it. So 35, I felt like, somehow, sometimes you feel that current in your body and you don't need to think that much. I did not even bother about a protective trade on it. I just said, you know what,
It felt
let's
right.
do July or
Mm-hmm.
August 40 or 45 call. So we did it, and it flew right off this thing. And I had a target of 49 to 53 on it. So it hit 49 today. So that was it.
Very
And yesterday
nice.
we did Yext. Somebody had put out Yext, and I saw it, and it looked very interesting, around 9.56 at that time. I said, if you want, you can do some comments on it, because I don't know what kind of options it has. So people bought it, and today it hit 14 after the earnings. So 5 point, it's almost like 50%, right? 40 plus at least.
Wow. So you play
Not bad
earnings.
overnight. Yeah.
So you
So
play
earnings, yeah,
earnings.
earnings is one of the bigger trades we play. Uh, so yeah,
Do you like
that's
to
one of the
sell
things.
premium? Because that usually there's a higher premium with higher
Yes,
ID.
yes,
Do you tend to, with the implied volatility higher, do you tend to sell and do credit spreads on
yes, all the
earnings?
time. I think, the best credit spreads I do is XPX only, because I know
Okay.
what numbers it's going to do. So I just keep selling those, either put side or call side, or sometimes call and put, both sides. So if it is at resistance, I'll sell a CCS, then it's coming down, you sell a PCS, so you have an IC. So that works very well, because see, with the other stocks, you have to wait till Friday for the same week,
Mm-hmm.
or you go a longer time frame and you don't know what that stock is going to do, move, not move, and you're occupying that margin. With the XPX, beauty is it expires every day. So tomorrow you'll have $500 in the morning. Why to worry
Wow.
about any other stock, right?
So yeah, so time frame wise, when you
Yeah,
play the indexes, as you say, do you ever do the zero DTE as well?
yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
that's what
Zero
you're
DT.
doing?
Yeah,
Wow.
zero DT or overnight.
Overnight.
XPX I do overnight sometimes. and ES or XPX, I do 0 DTE as well.
How do you control your risk management with that? And then another part to that question, how do you decipher the signal from the noise? Or do you trust your charts, and how do you make sure you're not, listening to noise over the signal? Because those have very little margin of error.
Yes. So you know what, Rosanna, I'll be very honest with you. At the end of the day, we are human beings and we all get affected by this noise too. I do get affected also because when the price is very chunky, it's spiking up, it's spiking down, it's sideways. So, and especially some days it feels very heavier. The price feels very heavy. That day I know, playing an XPX, this thing would be risky because the premiums for the 0 DT is not that great, but it can, screw me along the way. So what I do is I play the next day and go a wider strike, like 40, 50 strikes away, and I still get the same premium or better premium because the IV is still high for the next day. So, and then for tomorrow, at least in my head, at least I know I have time. Because sometimes what I do is I buy the short leg bag, and then in the direction of the long leg, I exit that one, either at break even or sometimes at profit also. So that also I do. So with options, you should know. With options, the only key factor is you should know how it works. That's all. Then you can play around it for different things.
Agree completely.
Right? Yeah.
You gotta know
it's
the
just
tools.
a tool. Yeah,
it's
just a very good toy. It's a very good toy, actually. It's a very good toy. As long as you know where your price is and you have your head on your shoulder to not risk too much out there, you can play around it and it will give you some good side incomes.
I love that. That's exactly right. Same thing I say is these are tools. Know how to use your tools. And that's the key. Know how to use them. And I always think of options in legs. I always think of it like even with the iron condor, I always think of it into different pieces, that's a credit spread. So a bull put spread and a bear call spread. And I always think of it in different pieces. Sometimes I drop off that extra, buying put at the end. So I make it, a bear call with just a short put or something like that. And just to have extra credit without having to buy. Of course, that takes on more risk, but it's always about thinking of it in parts. And as long as you know how to use them, and you can play the market. So give us your insights on how you think of options and how you like to construct them. I know you're very creative and you're out of the box with how you create them. So, and you get into them in legs, and you also get out in different legs as well. So give us some ideas of how you give us examples. That'd be great.
So for example, let's say I bought a call for, say I bought a call for shop. Okay. And today only I bought a call for shop. Actually, in the morning, it was doing good. Because 63.6 is where I wanted to close. The daily I wanted to close. If it closes, then
how far? I'm sorry. I want to really get this example down. So it's trading at 63.3. You said
you want to see in the chart, or
I would love it if you could show us the visual and how you think. How far out do you buy? Do you buy in the money, at the money, out of the money? And then how do you construct your spreads? That would be great with time frame.
Okay, so share screen.
Perfect. Yeah, I have it set with multiple, so you can share whenever you like. Just click share screen.
I did.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. I love the purple and pink.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Shop. Yeah. Okay.
You see it.
So I'm waiting for it to. Oh my God! It came down to 60. This is a bad shop. Yeah. So I was waiting for it to get over 64, 63.6. So we'll just say 64 because 40 cents. So here. So there's a number based on my study that number will be very important. For example, your Tesla 208.4. once it crosses that, sometimes they see a sudden jump. It's like a right on the gate kind.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes they take a lot. For example, Google took a hell lot of a time, crossing over 105, right? It would go there, come down, go there, come down. It wasted a lot of time, and finally it flew out the door to 125. So these numbers are those kind of numbers. So
Mm.
shop 63.66, I was waiting for it to do. So I bought a call in the morning. Unfortunately, it's like already 3 points down or 2+ down.
Which call did you buy on Shop, and when did it expire?
So here the thing is, I didn't want it to. The closer strikes are costly. Okay.
Yes.
And next week is squad witching. So
Mm-hmm.
that definitely adds the risks to your positions, especially the long positions, considering the market has already run up a lot and VIX is down. With these two data points, I didn't want it to play it too much long. Okay. So what I did, and it didn't had any other, from July, it only had September. Okay. So I know that
September. Mm-hmm.
if it is able to cross over 64 and stay there, it'll hit 75 very fast.
Mm.
So I bought a 75 call. Okay. Now, had I been
How do you
looking,
know how do you know that if it crosses that level, it should go to 75? Is there something on the chart that shows you that?
so these are your supplies and demands. See, this
Ah,
is
yes.
this is your 75, this is your 80. So it has to cross
Perfect.
this noise in order to get to this noise.
Mm-hmm. Got
So
it.
these are all noises created, right? So see this shop, it fell straight, and only
Yes.
here it has some sideways, right?
Yes.
So it'll play here for some time before it goes here, because see, there is nothing here. It's a straight line, but there's a lot of supply here. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll has to traverse here smartly.
Got it. Yeah, it's always
Okay.
about supply and demand.
Supply and
Absolutely.
demand. So yeah, so since this is a straight line, you have to refer to this side to see
Mm-hmm.
how price has behaved in order for just this. So this price, when it fell, um, it was a one-sided transaction. So in order to have the another side of transaction, the price needs to go back up and test at least till here,
Got it. Makes
right?
sense. Thanks
Before it
for
wants to
showing us that.
fall back and make a new low or something, or at least to this below side, that is 100 somewhere,
So
right?
with this call that you purchased for September, did you sell a short? Did you sell a short
I
call as
would have.
well?
I would have, because I didn't see. I was, just trying to prepare to talk, because I'm still, not in my regular element. So it takes me a lot of time, to get out, go to the bathroom, get ready, and all that. I didn't check this price. Otherwise, below 62, I would have immediately sold some, converted into a butterfly, basically.
Yes. That's the beauty of
Or
options. You can convert
yeah.
to different, yeah. That's
Yes,
awesome.
or I would have converted into a diagonal, but forward-looking diagonal or a
That's
calendar, basically. So
I
that way,
yeah.
I would collect premium, and then at support, I would take it off, and then my cost would be less.
Yes,
So that's how
I like that. Yeah,
that's how I
I've
would have.
converted diagonals that turn into verticals. And
Yeah,
because I just keep rolling and rolling, and then I go to the same month as the long call. And I've saved them, quite a few of them I've saved that way. But
yeah,
yeah, that's the beauty of options, is that you have so many options and capability and
yes.
flexibilities with them.
So
So,
this is the reason, shop is not able to go above, is because from here your straight line starts, right?
mm-hmm.
So once it crosses over, it has to move fast. At least, if not, 75 is minimum, I'm saying, right? But a good case is around this is 84, 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a good bet. That's the reason I took long here, thinking, now it wants to do 64 finally.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think today is a slow day, so it's still But let's see if it tries back
people
again.
could be
Yeah.
taking profits today. It could just be a pullback, or
Pullback,
some
yeah.
people say this is a short covering rally. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's so many different arguments out there.
Yeah.
I've
So this
heard
is
it all.
yeah. So your XPX is still not doing much. Uh,
So it's
yeah, it did come
yeah.
down a lot actually. Yeah.
So
So
how
it's
does,
just
when you talk about right there, there's the futures. So
yeah.
how do you use the futures for SPX and vice versa? How are you using those two? Show us, please tell us your pattern.
So I just mark my cycle numbers on them, or at least I know what numbers I have to look at. And
Okay.
somehow they will always, they come down to all the supply and demands, because that is how your algos are doing. What's your algos are doing, right?
Yes.
So right now, see this 40, 41, 29 or 31, it danced a whole lot, because see this whole chunk is here, and price has been basing under this for a very long time, right? Now this, this, after all of this tries, if price is still above 41.29, why would you short it?
Yeah.
Right? It will be a power bounce from here to go up, right? And now it is only getting stopped by this next small layer where the price had failed here, 43.27. So this is your breakout point. And then you have this whole area has been untested. I mean, this particular thing went up and tested it, but this whole head and shoulder has not been tested. So if the price can stay over 42.25, then this whole area of possibility is exposed.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Eventually it
anytime,
will get back there. Eventually, we just don't know when.
yes, it's I think it all depends on how they want to position it, because I personally feel there has to be a reason for it to bring it over 4200, right? There's no point in bringing it all the way over here and then drop it. Okay. So it may at least take this 43, at least till this red line it should go.
Yeah. And then that support line right there, that red line
Yeah.
below. Yeah.
And then
Resistance there.
what it does here would decide that, if it wants to test this sooner versus later, or it wants to, crap down first, because your VIX is trying to bounce off the low. What was the low? 1384. Yeah. So this area is what I had pointed out to, between 15 to 12, by VIX.
So you watch ES, you watch SPX closely, and the VIX. Any other chart that you watch in tandem with all of these that give you the signals that you're looking for?
Yes, I watch all my index futures. They have to go all in sync, okay? Because your YM gives the cycle indication first. It bottoms or tops first, mostly. So and it runs bigger cycles because it is in thousands, right? Lot of thousands. Then your RTY is either a leader or a lagger. Most likely, most of the time, it has been a laggard. Okay, but eventually it has to catch up. If all the three is up, which means RTY will also go up, and it will also normalize itself. And your NQ is mostly it is
what are you seeing with NQ right now?
Mostly with NQ, what happens is it's a tightly held beast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tightly held beast. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So see again, this one has run very fast.
Mm-hmm.
It almost did close to 15,000, right? 694, 695. It's like, 200, 300 points left for 400. Yeah, less than 400 points left for 1500. And that was my target, first
Right
cut
there with
target,
that.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, this was your breakdown point from the actual pullback, and it has tested that. Okay. Now, this is a good decision point for NQ to say that I want to fail here because I've tested the lower end of my previous fall, and I have no intention to go forward. Okay, which is QQQ 355 to 361 range approximately. Otherwise, it will easily go to 15,000 to close to 16,000, leaving this top, this particular,
Mm-hmm.
little bit head of the mountain, basically, to uh, for for not testing if it wants to fail here, basically. So that would give it more than 80% of the retest of the high, which mostly the index likes it anyways. Your high was what, 17, 16, and just under 17,000. So the target of 17,000 was met. Now, I definitely had higher targets for NQ. What was it? I think 25,000 or so. Yeah, 25,000 or so. So provided, what we do in this bigger supply is going to define. So again, we see how automatically we are again come to that bigger inflection point where the indices have reached together. Another important thing, together. The indices, when they reach together around the same inflection, the timing is right. Your Fibonacci will also somehow match it. Your cycle numbers will match it. And then some of your news events will also be aligned around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your
That
fireworks
alignment.
time.
How
Yeah.
far are we in that alignment? Like, where are we in that cycle for all the stars to align?
We are already there, actually.
Wow.
Except ES has not hit 4327.5.
Okay.
So now next week is CPI, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm. It should be. I
So
think it's next week. Yeah.
yeah, and quad witching as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that should at least tell us whether they intend to do this higher up uh, uh, sooner, or they want to, pull back a little bit, and then, market, they still want to keep it bullish or not. As of so far, see, this is what I was saying. NQ, this particular piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
This kind of a little bit small W, your price came till here. Okay, NQ did not come down to February 2020 high, but instead it came to this structure. After it fell here, this is the straight line. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the only structure first where the price has been on sideways. And so this was a very powerful demand. Oh, sorry, what? See this. XPX, from the low, it went up, and just above this was your major W. It did. So this
Mm-hmm.
is what I was saying. NQ has the same structure, XPX has the same structure. XPX has a little bit lower, almost, it did fell to this, what do you call, let me do this. Yeah, it fell to the top of the demand, not lower, but top of the demand. And NQ also did the same thing. But NQ was placed a little bit higher versus XPX is placed a little bit lower. And that's why we saw XPX come down a little bit more. But seeing these two structures in two indices, I was like, there has to be a reason for this price structure to be here versus somewhere else. And that's how I took a good faith leap of saying, okay, right now it is bottoming for whatever amount of time at least. and now we are testing. If you
We're
see the
testing right
Fibonacci,
there. Yeah,
yeah, if you see the Fibonacci wise, we are just above 50%.
I see that. That purple or that blue,
4165, yeah,
yes,
4165. And your 618 is, last time it failed at 618, 43, 20, what is this? 43, 30, 25,
that's
43,
it.
25.
Yeah,
So, yeah. But that's why it's very important to keep
I
this
see
number
that.
handy, written down somewhere. Once it crosses here, you will see price go up till here, at least 46, 46.50. There's a gap around 46.50. And that matches with your 80% retracement. So that's a natural alignment which has happened.
And you've seen this pattern play itself out for years then.
XPX, that's what ES does.
Wow.
It doesn't like anything small. It's a big player. Let's just say that. But
It's a big player,
doesn't
absolutely. You know,
doesn't
let's,
mean
yeah.
yeah. Well, the only thing I was saying is doesn't mean that it'll work out every single time. But these are the things I watch, and of course I have my numbers to say okay above or below. So yeah.
What's about expected value? And, you know, if there's a higher probability of it working out, then that makes sense. So, you know, it's not, no, there's no 100% in life and in trading as well. So you got to place your bets properly. And so it's always about risk adjusted returns as well. So I want to talk about gold. I know you trade gold. So I'd like to know what you're seeing over there. You trade, I like the gold futures, very nice. And what are you seeing? There's some caution right now. It's pulled back. You think it's an opportunity to buy, or you think it's going to come in lower?
So see, it has not been able to stay over 2100. Is it
Yes.
approximately 2100?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 3 times already it has hit
It's making that
2100
resistance even stronger now with it
stronger.
being,
Yes.
being rejected every time.
Yeah.
Where are we falling to, you think? Where's the next support level that you see on your chart?
It is right at the support actually, 1937. Yeah,
Mm.
1937 has been supported for quite some time. It has been bouncing off of there for few times at least, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
So yeah, or this top of this line somewhere here. 1937 is the cycle level, but plus minus few, it has been always bouncing off from there. The only thing is, does it? Oops. Yeah, the only thing is, would it want to come off 1937 this time? Okay, so if it does that, then we have some deeper retrace little bit till maybe 1850, 1875, and then this line, the previous here, this will be your line in the sand for gold to go down. So currently it is still dancing between the two. So fourth time, it will definitely spike higher, and that would be your indication. I think the alignment will come when the indices have retested the high wherever they want to, and then some world event may come around, or they say, okay, the macros are bad again, or whatever, and then gold will spike, indices will come down, and stuff like that.
So right now, are you doing anything with gold, or are you just watching?
No, I haven't done anything with it actually. Yeah. So I've been a little bit slow this past few months, anyways, with my travel and taking care of things at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, my trading had been quite a bit less.
Well, we're so happy to finally have gotten you for this interview. It's been months. We've been trying to plan this, and just so much has been going on, and wish you the best and health. And it's only up from here, okay. It's just
Thank you.
positive.
I do wish it is up from here. I really do wish.
It will be. And stay positive.
Yes.
And okay, so we looked at the VIX gold. How about IWM and the future that you talked about? Let's see how that is looking right now.
So IWM, I have been waiting for a long time for it to move up. The stupid thing didn't move when I had the calls. It just danced between 175 and plus minus 2 3 points up and down, but it didn't do. But now it is looks like it is crossing. One of the major chunk would be 187 to 192. That area it crosses, and then we'll see higher 210. This next green line above. So this 191, 192 goes. You'll have your 208, 210, and then this small chunk, the head of where we fell off from, remains to be tested.
So yeah, it's a challenging.
This
index
does
for
look
sure.
good to move up actually.
It's
So
been
I'm
taking
hoping
time.
it is taking a whole lot of time, but now looks like some of the rotation is moving into IWM. Some of the IWM stocks are moving as well. The smaller ones, uh, they are catching up the squeeze basically. So keep an eye on this one. It can give some good points if ES is also not tanking. RTY.
Oh yeah, RTY.
Yeah,
Nice.
RTY. So RTY is also doing the same thing. It is just trying to cross over this 1889, 1885, 1889 area. And so far, see, up till now, it has not been successful being over 21 EMA, right? It tries to go over, it fails and comes down. But this time, hopefully, if it does, then you can see 2025 or something on it. These two spikes where it failed, and it aligns with this chunk as well. And then you have your 2100s here with the lower end of this price action.
Perfect.
So
Got
this does
that.
look, yeah, I do like IWM. And then of course you have your stop loss below, 187 or 185, and then go from there. Since next week is code witching and CPI and everything else, so we can have wacky moves, which means they will play with the premiums a lot. So whatever positions you're trying to get in, always buy time. Play small, but buy time, at least 3 months out, so that there is enough time to do it. And don't hesitate to get out, because you can always re-enter, but they can whack the premium very fast.
Excellent. So yeah, I want to go into the risk management, which is smaller position sizing. We always talk about that, and that's key, and give yourself more time on these options. Let's look at the dollar. I know you talk about the dollar quite a bit, and you reference it. I think we're about 104, right? Yeah, we're in that range, 100 to 105. We're stuck around this 104. What are your thoughts with the dollar and how it's looking on the chart?
Yeah, so see this long time support running in, it is still holding it. It hasn't gone below it yet. So as long as it is holding that 100 and 100, 101, it will still try to, retest higher. At least this spike, it will try to retest higher, maybe 109 or so, somewhere around here. It does look good. It doesn't look bad at all to me. See this purple line, it's still holding it, and now it's trying to go up.
I see. Well, it doesn't fare too well for commodities usually with that inverse relationship, but lately everything's been a little different, so we'll have to watch and see. But yeah, right there, I see it looks like it's gaining some strength. It does.
Yeah,
Looks
between
like
100 and 121, it didn't hit 121 as yet. It's this
in
other
this
end
cycle,
of the,
yeah.
But it hit 112 or 30, 114 almost, 140, 115 almost. So it's like 50, it's 50% basically, right? 100 to 125, 50% is around that much. So that's another thing I keep doing, 50% or quarter of everything. And surprisingly, that is how price behaves as well.
So let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about your risk management. And you touched upon it, saying smaller position sizing, giving yourself some time. So you have mental stops. I know you said that as well. So how do you view risk management in this type of market going forward? What are you doing?
So what I've noticed is that there is so much chop. At
Mhm.
least just before 2 weeks or so, the ES was chopping a lot, right? It was within a certain range. So that is not good for your premium, especially if you're paying options. If you have commons, then it's still okay, you know. It's not doing anything, but it's not losing value as well. But your options are losing value. So in my opinion, it's not worth it to keep your options for too long. Let's say you just bought a call, okay, and you expect the price to move and it's not moving for 3 days, 4 days, then just make a decision whether you want to keep it or you don't want to keep it. Because if the stock has to make a super move to cover for those past 4 days premium loss as well. So moving 1 or 2 point will not cover for it. It has to move much more than that in order to compensate for the premium loss happened. And the premium loss happening is really big. Earlier, we used to see 10 cents, 20 cents. Now 50 cents, $1 is gone just like that. So that's why I'm taking profit at small profit margin itself. And or either I just convert it into CDS and then make it free, or I roll the call. Which one it was? GitLab. Yesterday, I had a 40 call on GitLab, and then it was 46 something. Whole day it was 46 something, and I was like, because 47 was it was a glitch point for it. So, but I was hopeful that it'll go above 47, but it was not going. So I was thinking, tomorrow, what if it slides down 2 more points? I'll unnecessarily lose profit. So what I did is I rolled my call 40 to 50 for July and collected premium. 530 I collected the premium, which was almost more than, it was like 60% profit already, right? So I've already collected 50% profit, but I'm still in the game. Okay. So I still have a $50 call, and today it hit 49, right? Almost close to 50. So I exited that as well. So that free also gave me a couple of dollars like that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, don't hesitate to make some adjustment to your options so that you don't lose the premium, or, if you're not comfortable adjusting, is because, remember, adjusting is managing two sets of stocks, your long leg and whatever your short leg, especially butterfly and all that. If it is in the direction, it's all good. But if your plan was, I'll take out the short leg this time, that time, then it's managing that number of stocks at that number, in that particular time space. So it can get very overwhelming sometimes. So best is, if you cannot handle a complex option strategy, then exit your call if it is not moving for 3-4 days. That's the best. If it doesn't stop you out technically at a technical stop loss, that has always worked for me. 3-4 days it's not working, then after that it may go. But yes, in this premium burn, better to avoid premium. There are other things to play in the market. That's why XPX is my best thing. It doesn't even have to move in order to give me money, right? So that's always a reliable game for me.
Absolutely. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, are you utilizing, when you utilize the selling part of the options, do you tend to go within a month or a week? Let's say you buy a call, you do a diagonal, and
Yeah.
you have the 3-month long call. Do you tend to sell like a week or 2 weeks or within the month? And do you keep selling them as they expire worthless?
Yes, I do that. I sell short term. I do a short term calendar or a short term diagonal. That way, and that I do it at resistance. So I know that it should start losing premium from here. And if it is a calendar, then I don't mind, because if the price goes up, my calendar will still be profitable. But sometimes with a diagonal, it can get tricky depending on your short strike. If it is above, it's okay. But if it is lower, then it can get into the money fast. So that's why I don't use diagonal too much if I have a very long dated call, but I do calendars. I convert them into calendars. That
Very
works
nice.
better, because I can still come out of it very well
Very nice.
that way.
Do you
Yeah.
look at do you use the Greeks as well when you do your spreads? And do you try to go as close to delta neutral? Or do you look at your theta is very important as well with the theta burn.
Mm,
How do you
yes.
use those to purchase and sell options?
I used to do that before, but now we are all grown up. Let's just say that. So, just looking at what the stock is doing and what I expect it to do at where I'm buying or selling it, I I don't look too much into delta or this. I mostly look into the move, what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
If it is not a very costly option, then I just buy closer ATM once to give me more value out of it. But if it is like costly stuff, then I go OTM, but with time, and let it play out. That's how I work it. And sometimes I'll just sell some premium against it to get some cost down. That's all I do. But I don't think I look at the theta and all that, because that's, even though the Greeks are valid, but you have to look at the stock move also. These days they'll give you 2 days spike and 5 days nothing is happening. So how does the theta, come into play? Like in
Well,
terms of when you originally bought it, right?
that's
So
very nice. Yeah.
yeah, so the main thing is where you bought it and how you intend to play. That should just drive, that should, from there you should evaluate your theta basically. That's how I've started to do things, instead of looking at the values. Theta is this, delta is this, I should buy. That's a very technical workbook, which is very good when you're learning and when you're starting to do things. But and when as you start doing everything, these things should just come to you naturally. Okay, this is what should I buy, and this and that and all that,
I
I
agree.
think.
I tend to not look as much. I do glance at the delta and I look at that, but yeah, everyone has their own style and it's about simplifying. And as you
Yes,
master these options and you know how to use your tools, it's about the movement and knowing where the stock's going. You're using excellent technical analysis and it's just sometimes extra noise and extra information that may not be as useful. And we have bandwidth constraint. So we need to minimize, we need to simplify, and you choose the indicators that are most relevant and most important to your trading style. So thank you for that input. That's awesome. I love hearing that because
thank
there's
you.
no set pad, there's no set rules to what works for everyone. There's not like a certain criteria you have to do, and everyone has their own individual style. So I appreciate you sharing that, and it certainly works for you. I love your style. Now, tell us
Thanks.
about you're welcome. Tell us about your mindset and your psychology, because trading is like 70-80% mindset and
Yeah.
controlling your reactions and impulsiveness from those emotions, because we have plenty of them when we see the market do its thing. So what's your mindset like?
This is what do you call that? Learning in progress.
Mm-hmm.
After some point, you become very good at disciplining yourself, but something is still left out there, right? Because you cannot take out the human element out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you will go and tend to make some stupid mistake. You'll do 10 days very well, and 11th day you will still go and do some stupid stuff, and that is acceptable, because otherwise we'll not be human as such. But the main thing is, as long as you are constantly on the disciplined path, you will automatically start getting better at the game. The idea is to get better at the game, not win it every time. Okay, so that's how I look at things. uh, take stuff only what you can handle, right? No point in taking on too much, this option, that stock, this stock. At one point we have 10 or 15 stocks running. Doesn't mean you need to be there. One of the important things which I have learned and which I tell every single time is, there may be 3,000, 4,000 stocks out there. You don't have to play. You don't even have to know the names of those. Just pick some few simple ones, which always, have some moves, and monitor them. Look at it. For years, I have looked at XPX. Every single day at 12:40, I have written down on an Excel sheet what is the price. Learn that kind of discipline. Few stocks, master them. They will give you the same setup again and again. Tell your mind why you are here. Are you here to make money, or are you here to, play the next FOMO? If
Mm-hmm.
you're here to make money, it doesn't matter what you're playing. Just pick few and master those.
Wise words. I love that. Avoid FOMO, fear of missing out, and have your select group that you study, that you know well. It's almost like family members that you know them so well. That if you personify these stocks and these indexes, and you know them so well, you know their behaviors and their
Yeah.
patterns. So then, by studying them as much as you have, you can know how to play them with the proper tools. So very well said. May I ask what your little family of stocks is? Do you have a 5 or 10 that you watch closely? I know you said SPX and ES are at
Yes.
the top. Any others
Yeah.
that you like to watch very closely that you trade more than others?
So along with my indices, Apple and Tesla is what I watch because they are part of the market market graph, right? So these two are again my indicators. I use them as indicators. So I watch them. Then I watch IWM.
What are we seeing in
Then
Tesla right now? I would love to get your take on Tesla.
Tesla was at 230. Okay.
Wow, there it is.
Yeah.
It's up today quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So see, we are again here at the base of the supply from its
Mm-hmm.
glory. So that's why it just 229, 230. It is
Yes.
trying to do it. Once it stays over it, then it is going to go and test more. One of the things what I have been doing is I've always went and looked at the yearly charts. That will tell you a very good story. And most of the stocks, what happened in the stock market, you would know why it happened or why that normalization was important. Okay, so this candle is what, 403 to 108. So that's a 300-point candle approximately, right? So at least 150 points from here, 101 to 226 is approximately close. 150 points, it will be 50% move. Anything above that will be a bonus. You could easily go into 300 or so.
Wow.
That's there, because see this single red candle that needs to be adjusted for transactions, both sides.
And it's a beautiful stock to trade with options because of the high liquidity. And that's always an option trader's best friend is liquidity. You can get in
Yeah.
and out of options and legs very easily and quickly and with narrow spreads.
Yes. So Tesla is generally, it'll just sit there, do nothing, and then finally it'll do something. So that's why very long, at least 6 month out options you have, then you will make some money on it. But the only thing is you can't go too far away in strikes for it. Now, after the split, it is not that costly, but even so.
So how do you trade Tesla? Do you do weeklies?
No. Tesla, I never do weeklies because it never works for me. So
You do monthly, like right now you would do a July monthly, or would you do June?
no, I would right now. Oops, what? Right, sorry. Right now, I would not trade anything before August.
Oh, okay.
Because next week is quad witching, and your H2 will start. So you have to give enough time for things to adjust themselves in order to give an okay move. So that's why the time is very important. Quad witching is a very powerful concept, which people only think it's only for one day, but it is from the previous month end OPEX to your month end of your actual quarter.
Got it. So for your strategies, indexes like SPX, you do the 0 DTE and you'll play that on the daily.
Yeah. So
But when
that works.
yes, so
When
that
it comes to stocks,
Mhm.
I currently I won't buy anything until the best would be August, because you have to give enough time for cord witching and its effects to play out.
Great. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing all that. Excellent, excellent
But that is
strategies.
how I do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
love that. That's
smaller
great
moves.
thinking.
Yeah. Smaller moves you can always buy as small time options and exit. For scalping, scalping is a very different game than having a swing. So this information is only for swing, I was mentioning.
Yes, we're focused
Yeah.
on the swing, absolutely. And I know you mentioned something to me earlier that I wanted to bring up, and I thought it was a great quote. It said, higher time frames under pressure and smaller time frames start squeezing. Could you tell us about what that means? Maybe show us, that'd be the best. Thank you.
So this was your breakout point in February after your fallback, your fall here, and then price started going up, and your RSI was also rising, but on a bearish divergence, right? All this is bearish divergence, so but they had not brought up the RSI very much. But my cycle was done at 4489, 448, somewhere here. See, you got one reaction around that time, but then it picked up and it did this top again at 4800. So this is my cycle had completed, and I was okay to give it 100 points, but it did much more than that. And see this distance, it has gradually started increasing, and then it's a lot of distance here. So I knew that this is under the pressure. This is also what do you call a bearish divergence, though the price is still okay. Same thing was here. Quarterly candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarters you are up without anything, right? That's when once your where is 21? This is 21, right? When did we start falling? 4700, 4800. Yeah, this was the top, 4818, right? And here was somewhere here 4489. Here somewhere here was your top. Okay, so it gave this reaction, and then your squeeze happened up until here. And people are like, okay, it's a bull market. We are above 21, 20 SMA, and price is going up and it won't come down and all that. But from there, this is where it blew down. So this is the squeeze. This zone is where you need to start getting cautious when the price is going up, because it has completed already 3 cycles, or two and a quarter cycle, and it's already too much pressure on the index cycle wise.
Wow.
So
Yes.
yeah, so once it is starting to come down below, actually I had posted this in December itself. Fun facts, as I post some of the things under fun facts, though it may look fun facts, but they are actually something to keep an eye on.
So you
So
saw
it has,
that.
yeah, so it had started a bearish Gartley. Basically the price was going on a bearish Gartley. So this D it was making was on a bearish drive. On the monthly also we saw the bearish drive coming in, and this price was on a bearish pattern, and it actually got activated here. And since then I thought, see, your first cut is always normalization, return to the mean, but you always have lower targets. So in a bull trend, you don't look at the market crapping or at one shot, right? So I was thinking it'll go and till 50 SMA or something, and it'll normalize itself, but it actually hit all the 3 or 4 targets below. all the way till I think 43.75, 43.57 or 42.25, somewhere there. And there was 3900 target also. That also got, I mean, everything got done after that. So yeah,
Wow.
that's how.
So, yeah. So taking that concept and applying it to now and what you're seeing now in the markets. And there's always a lot of discussion. There's always chatter between the bulls and the bears. And I try not to go with any narrative myself, but it's fun to talk about it. So they're saying it's a new bull market. Others are saying this is just a short covering. And then we have others saying this is still a bear market. We're just, in bear markets, you can have bear market rallies. So with all that discussion, and let's put it aside, let's look at your charts and your strat. What are you seeing?
I don't think, from a technical perspective,
Yes,
I don't think we entered a bear market at all. We never entered it.
Oh.
Yeah, because price came here.
Wait. Did you say bear instead of bull? Or you're saying bear? Wow.
No, bear. We never entered the bear, technically speaking.
Technically, yes.
Not the economically or macro
Yes,
wise.
of course.
All that.
So
Because because of this, it just, see, 7 quarters we counted up, right? And only 3 quarters it came down. Right? So in order for price to go bearish, it has to trade below this and continue down, start falling, and then you will be in a bear market. Here, this area will be a bear market. Up till here, it's just normalization. It only adjusted itself technically price-wise because it couldn't handle the pressure here. It's like, if you've used Bollinger Bands, you'll know what I mean. Once the price is out of the Bollinger Band,
yes,
it doesn't know what to do anymore after it's run up. It has to come inside.
And what is that purple line right there?
I think it is 20 SMA or 21 EMA. Yeah. So it just normalized on the 3-month this thing. That's all it did.
And we go back in time and we see 2008. I think that right there on the chart, that was certainly a bear market right there. It crossed over, yes. And then in 2020, would you say it crossed over for a bit? That capitulation from COVID.
Yes, this capitulation. This your ES will tell you very good because
look at that.
This ES will tell you very good because this price. Okay, I'll give you one thing to ponder a bit for some time.
Yes, let's ponder. We want to ponder.
Okay. So this price 21.74. It was made in Globex, not during RTH. And very few understand this. This sentence I've copied from someone else, but yeah.
Please explain that. Please explain that. This is great.
So this 21.74 was hit during the night time, US night time basically. And we did not touch this during the daytime. It rallied and then went up from there. It never touched that. So that if it wants to adjust this price, which ES always does, then you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
And what is the significance of that, of it touching it at night versus day? What is that significance?
So the only thing it means is for future, the contracts were not evenly traded, right? So that balance of transaction needs to happen.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
There, you heard it right from Nargis. Perfect. Whoa, now I add a new theory. It's that we never even entered the bear market. I like that.
Yeah.
And I have read that before, but it's a great perspective that you have from a technical point of view. And looking at the chart, you've definitely very convincing as well. So I guess that's how we should put the bear market and bull market narrative aside and just follow price. And because that's the key. It's always follow price.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everything. So brilliant. And you have such great theories and love your charts. Thank you for sharing this all with us. Nargis, how can people follow you and stay in touch with you and your trading, your charts? Is it Twitter?
Yes, Twitter is the best, and Nargis with the 2 R's, 007, Nargis 007.
I love that. It's
Is
like double
yeah.
oh 007. You like James
Mm,
Bond?
yeah, I guess so. But yes, yeah. And that I think that suits well for being an observer of tidbits, tiny tidbits. The attention to details. That's sometimes can be very good, and that's what I've been trying. I've been trying to do. That's all. Pay attention to details.
Yes, and that's what we love, paying attention to details. Now, what's the significance of this motorcycle that you have on your profile pic?
Oh, this is my son actually. This was, I think, Halloween. We
Oh,
had taken at a mall. We had gone, and I thought this looks good, like a Captain America thing, right?
I love it. Yeah, it's very nice.
So yeah, so that some loyalty kinds this thing. That's all.
Here I was thinking that you were maybe a
Yeah.
biker. I thought maybe you were a biker and that was your Harley or your motorcycle or something.
No, 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 no. I haven't tried that. Though I used to drive a motorcycle in India. I
Oh,
still do when I go back. So yeah, but haven't driven this kind of motorbike. But yeah, two-wheelers in India is very common, and it's fun driving. Doing that. There are no rules. You can just go swish, swish, swish anywhere you want.
absolutely. No rules. I love it. Thank you so much, Nargis. And thank you to all listeners.
Thank you, Rosanna. I really appreciate you bringing me on here, and great talk.
Absolutely. And I hope you feel better and I wish you the best health, only upwards from here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for listening to the Rose Show podcast. Please visit rosannaprestia.com for more episodes. See you soon. All investment, real estate, financial, legal, and tax opinions expressed by Rosanna Prestia or on the Rose Show should not be relied upon as professional advice and are intended to be used for informational purposes only.